Today was Miami Heat Media Day, and on today's show, we are going to have the latest storylines and takeaways from Heat Media Day. I am Nic Rohloff. This is the Heat Report by Chat Sports, and make sure you are subscribed to the channel because we put out daily content here, and with the season getting started in just about 2-3 weeks and preseason getting started in about 9 days, we will have you covered. So hit that sub button. Let's get to 14K ASAP. All right, the number one takeaway from today's Media Day is that the fact Jimmy Butler, he showed up late. Yes, you heard that correctly. He was not on time. There was certain players and Erik Spoelstra who spoke at a podium, and there was really only two players that did that. It was Tyler Herro and Bam Adebayo, and then that was head coach Erik Spoelstra who kicked things off. Now, Jimmy Butler was supposed to do that, but he ultimately was not there on time. Why that is? Well, he was in France this past week and allegedly was supposed to leave yesterday, but his plane had issues and then ultimately couldn't fly out until this morning, and that's why he showed up late, came straight from the airport to the Heat's media portion. But I think this is a bad look regardless. And I'm not going to try to sit here and make a bigger deal out of things that probably aren't that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. But considering this offseason, he asked for a contract extension and he didn't really get it. And there was maybe some potential trade rumors starting to swirl out there. It's not the greatest thing to show up. And here's my thing is he could have just avoided that unless he had a obligation to be in France. On Sunday, he could have just flown back Saturday and spent Sunday in Miami to make sure he was on time on Monday. It's kind of a bad look for him. But I will say this. This is a picture from today. He showed up pretty standard and normal at Media Day. Obviously, the past 2 years showing up with no facial hair, dreadlocks. Last year was the emo look. At least he finally showed up normal to Heat Media Day. So that is actually one positive there. But when speaking to some reporters, you saw that picture when he was doing that, he did talk about how things went this offseason. He said that he's not the most upset person in the world on not getting extended. He says, I guess I got to go out and hoop. Says he's done that before, and he doesn't want to be anywhere else. That extension is just a couple of dollars. I've made enough. And that is something that we have talked about in the past with Jimmy Butler and all the rumors on him potentially being traded because he's not getting a contract extension. It has been very in the open that he wants to retire a member of the Miami Heat. He wants to be playing basketball in Miami for the rest of his career, but he also wants to get paid. And as long as he's able to show out this season and prove that he can still be a top player on a contending team, well, the Heat will have no issue paying him his contract extension wants and demands next offseason as long as he hoops this year. All right, but let me know. Are you concerned with Jimmy Butler showing up late? Not the happiest about it, but I'm also going to not make this the end of the world. Let me know your thoughts down below. All right, next takeaway here is that Josh Richardson is not anywhere close to 100%, and he might actually end up missing time to start the season. If you recall last January on a game against the Boston Celtics, actually on Super Bowl Sunday, fun fact, he hurt his shoulder, got jammed up there, and he was out for the rest of the season. Well, when speaking to some reporters today, he said that he is not exactly 100%. He's getting close to there, but is not 100% yet. And he also kind of made note that he might not be ready for the start of the regular season. You see the report here from Anthony Chang, who covers the team for the Miami Herald, and him not being available for the beginning of the season, it's not the end of the world. Josh Richardson is kind of like the 9th through 11th man on this Heat rotation behind some other players like Haywood Highsmith, Duncan Robinson, Kalal Ware. But this does mean that you might see Alec Burks and second-round pick from Arizona, Pallel Larson, in this past draft. They might have an increased role here at the beginning of the season because the Heat's guard depth is already not great. And we've made note of that this entire offseason, how they failed to address the backup point guard role. And if Josh Richardson is out, you only have 5 guards ready to go for the start of the season. Tyler Herro, Terry Rozier, Duncan Robinson, Alec Burks, and Pallel Larson. The one issue with this group, but I think they're all fine basketball players, and they all have specific skill sets that are going to allow the Heat to perform and win this year, but there is no true point guard. You might say Terry Rozier is one, but guess what? He's more of a natural scoring guard than a facilitator, an initiator on offense. I think it would behoove Miami to go out and get a legit ball handler, but they did not do that, and obviously after giving Nasir Little a non-guaranteed roster spot, at least right now, they don't really have room to go out and add another point guard to this roster. I know Markelle Fultz is out there. I'll tell you what, if he doesn't get signed, I would really give a hard look at him getting added to the roster, but I don't know if Pat Riley would do that. All right, next takeaway here. The Heat may have a starting lineup. And this has been widely discussed by me, by others out there, about what the Heat will ultimately do with their starting five. Because I've been out in the record saying that I don't think it should be Tyler Herro and Terry Rozier in the backcourt. I don't think they can play together due to their defensive inefficiencies and also inability to finish at the rim and being smaller guards. But Erik Spoelstra didn't come out and say he's got a starting lineup, but it's already pointing to the fact that there is a select lineup already. Spoelstra, in his presser earlier today, said that he's very intentional on wanting to see Terry Rozier, Tyler Herro, Jimmy Butler, and Bam Adebayo play together as a quartet, if you will, as a four-man group, because that group didn't get a lot of extended minutes last season due to Herro always being injured, and then right as Herro starts to get healthy at the end of the season and in that lineup consistently, well, Terry Rozier's got that neck injury. It was always one of the four being out for the Miami Heat. And it was a bummer because Pat Riley made that deal a couple weeks before the trade deadline to see what Terry Rozier can do with Herro, Jimmy, and Bam. So it looks like you are going to see that same starting lineup last season that was projected if fully healthy. You're going to have Tyler and Terry in the backcourt by all accounts. Jimmy and Bam are already your clear-cut starting wing and center combination. That's not going to change. It was all about the three pieces around them. But I would expect Nikola Jovic to be that starting four in between Bam and Jimmy again. One, because he works really well alongside Adebayo. He has the trust of Jimmy Butler. And I think that he is going to be entrusted in year three for a larger role on this Heat team. And as long as he's able to improve some of those defensive mishandles and lapses from a year ago, he will be an effective starting four. It gives Miami more size as well, having Bam at 6'10", and Jovic at 6'10", in that front court. It's going to be the starting lineup I expect to see night one against the Orlando Magic at the Kaseya Center. One last takeaway here coming up in just a second, but the Heat season is just around the corner. Make sure you're representing the best team in the land with this Miami Heat basketball shirt. On sale right now for $21. Chatsports.com/Heat shirt is the link. It's in the description and comments of today's video. Usually $28, on sale for $21. Grab yours today. All right, the last takeaway that I want to talk about today is Tyler Herro and how he bulked up from a season ago. And if there is one main takeaway that we should have in optimism on a specific player for this upcoming season, it should be Tyler Herro, who was also sporting a hairstyle change of his own and taking an homage to Jimmy Butler, as he's got a buzz cut now. And he actually said that he's going to keep the buzz cut all year, which is not really a real takeaway that we're going to have to talk about. But I do think it's intriguing that we're going to see a buzz cut Tyler Herro all season long. And he cited he's all business this season, and that's why he's going to keep the buzz cut. But the second point right here is the one that we need to talk about. He said he is currently weighing in at 201 pounds. That is the most he has ever weighed since entering the NBA. For example, by the way, last season when he ended the year, he was weighing 189 pounds. So he's 12 pounds heavier from a year ago, and he certainly is playing at a much higher weight, at least right now, than he was the first 4 or 5 seasons of his career. He says that he added the weight in hopes to allow his body to absorb contact better, stay more healthier throughout the season. As we know, that's been something that Tyler has struggled to do for his entire career, stay on the basketball court and play 70-plus games. Playing at 2-1's interesting. I'm curious to see if he's going to be able to hold on to that weight throughout the year, because with all the conditioning in basketball that you play, it is hard to stay that heavy when you're just naturally burning so many calories. So that is something to keep our eye on. He also mentioned that he's fine with whatever role this season. They specifically asked him if he wants to be a starter or sixth man. He said whatever it takes to win basketball games, whatever it takes to win a championship. I think Tyler Herro in the past has been a lot more focused on himself. Last year, he said that he wanted to average 25 points per game, be an all-star. This year, he even referred to that and said, last year I came in and kind of talked about personal goals. This year, I'm not going to really talk about that. All I care about is winning games, being here for this team in the regular season, and showing up in the postseason. I think there's an added maturity to Tyler Herro this season, and I am very, very excited to see what he can do this year. Let me know what you expect from Tyler Herro this season. Fill in the blank for me. Tyler Herro will average blank points this season. I'll be honest, I think it's going to be lower than 20 points per game, which is what he has averaged over the past 3 seasons. I think it's going to be closer to 17, 18 because he's going to play make a little bit more. I think he's going to be more off ball in catch and shoot scenarios more. But let me know what you think he's going to average this season. All right, to close out this show for Miami, one last word on this Heat basketball team, because I know I was here and I made mention a lot that I'm not so sure the Heat have a chance to win a championship. And maybe that's the case still. But I am really excited to see this Heat team play, and I cannot wait for October 23rd to get here when they host the Orlando Magic. And I can't wait for the preseason to start in about 8 or 9 days. I feel like something special is brewing. Jaime Jaquez Jr., year 2. Nikola Jovic, year 3. Full season of Terry Rozier in a Heat uniform. Jimmy Butler, last year of his contract that's guaranteed. He shows up locked in, ready to roll, wanting to prove to everyone that he's still that guy. Tyler Herro, added weight, buzz cut. It just feels like there's a lot of motivation on this Heat basketball team. There's no more antics, no more personal agendas that they want to push. I think they're going to really come together as a team this year and really outperform people's expectations. I am going to now believe this team's going to win close to 50 games and be a 4 or 5 seed in the East and really threaten in this conference. I believe something special might be brewing in the 305. Maybe it's the juice, maybe it's the optimism, but I feel it. And make sure you are subscribed because it's going to be a very fun season ahead of us. And it's going to be at least a very storyline-driven season, I can say that. So hit that sub button because watch parties are almost back. As always, we'll see you with the video tomorrow. Go Heat.